Yes.
Okay, so how does boot camp start? Like, as soon as you arrive, how do you get there? Just break the entire thing down.
Okay, so well, first you gotta sign a freaking contract, right? If you qualify, right, you have to have no crazy tattoos. Marines have the strictest tattoo policies. You can't have any crazy tattoos, basically.
What does that mean? Crazy.
Like sleeves.
You can't have a sleeve?
Yeah, you can't have a sleeve in the Marines. You could. So
if you already have it, can you come in with it?
No.
No?
No.
Wow.
People could be grandfathered in. So people that had it before prior to them changing their regulations, they could stay in. But it also kind of hinders them as well. So, but yeah, if you have a sleeve, you can't join the Marines. You can't do drugs, obviously. You have to have a high school diploma or GED. Medically, you can't have anything. You just
like HIV or coronavirus.
Yeah, you'd be all right. No, coronavirus is fine. I mean, you're gonna after 2 weeks.
That's another question I have, but continue. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, say you qualified. After a certain amount of time, you get a ship date, and you ship out to Parris Island. They fly you out. So I'm assuming from New York City. You go to LaGuardia or whatever. Parris Island is in South Carolina.
Okay.
So
is it an actual island?
Is it? Yeah.
It sounds landlocked.
I don't think it is landlocked. I think
no, because they have a beach there. They have Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Yeah, but it's.
Is it actually off the coast?
It is. I believe it is. I don't remember because I know exactly. It's like right.
No, that would make sense because usually they do training when
right.
Like,
I you know what? I don't want to say it is or it is not. I don't remember.
Oh, don't worry.
It's in a town called
Buford. So you're on Parris Island.
You're on Parris Island.
Gotcha.
Miserable place. First 3 days, I don't know. I don't even know if I should be talking about the experience like that. But first 3 days, you pretty much don't really sleep.
Are you allowed to talk about these things?
Yeah. I mean, you could Google that. You will see that. You will. It's not a classified information. It's like it's a freaking boot camp. You know.
Yeah.
First 3 days, you don't really get any sleep. I mean, at all. So this is kind of where you're presented with the reality that from now on, for the remaining 13 weeks, your life is completely different. You went from being me to referring in third person. You got to say this recruit requests permission, and you got to scream. The entire time you're in boot camp, you got to scream on top of your lungs.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a way you manage to keep your voice from
you don't? You just
raspiness. They say yell with your diaphragm instead of your right.
Yeah, you gotta speak with your chest.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you should see how drill instructors talk. It's crazy. Like they scream.
As soon as you get there, don't they have their brim low, right?
Yeah.
And they're just yelling in your face.
So you arrive on a bus. That's the moment of arrival. You come from there. They pick you up at the airport. It could be Savannah. It could be whatever the closest place. It could be in Georgia. It could be depending with what they have contracted. So you get on the bus. You keep your face down the entire time.
Wow.
You arrive there in the middle of the night. That's intentionally, right? So you get disoriented and stuff.
Okay.
You arrive there in the middle of the night, and then and the drill instructor gets on the bus and whatever he does the countdown, and in 3 seconds you guys are all gonna look up at me and scream, and he's there and he's fucking screaming. You're you having your whole world shatter right in front of you. Like fuck.
I can imagine that feeling oh my god, what did I just walk into?
Yeah. And then you get on the yellow footsteps, and then from there they tell you this whole speech. You walk through the hatches, and then you do all the paperwork process. In the first days, pretty much. They have the eagle globe and anchor on them, and it kind of symbolizes the passage from you being a civilian to a Marine. You walk hatches or doors, so that you only walk through those specific doors once.
Okay.
So
it's a symbol.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
and then you said you signed something.
And then then it's like paperwork. Hey, where you from? This and that. Your social security, whatever. Then they figure out where you go, what platoon you're gonna be assigned to.
Don't they rush you through that process?
No, they actually explain everything really well. This is freaking.
I watched the video and they're like, sign it fast.
Yeah, but you will sign it correctly.
Yeah.
And if you won't, you'll just get fucked up and do it again. You get the phone call home. You call home and they're like,
hey, I made it.
Yeah. This is recruit, whatever the freaking hell arrived to Parris Island. I will contact you and whatever by mail. Don't send any crazy shit by mail. And
do you allow a response? Is there a conversation, or it's basically just you giving a message?
You're just reading the prompt. You're reading the prompt,
and then you hang up.
Yeah.
They pick up, or is it a voicemail?
No, they pick up. They have to answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But once you're not allowed to listen to their response, it's blah 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 blah. See you. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. I had an extra 5 seconds, so I was able to talk to my mom.
I love you, mom. Right.
Yeah, I love you, mom. Literally what I said.
Yeah.
Damn, but those.
You just say I love you, mom.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up if they hear you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When it's chaotic, you kind of.
Gotcha.
It's a good life lesson. In chaos, you could find an opportunity. Do what you have to do. What you have to do. You know what I'm saying? So
that's an outlook a lot of people aren't willing to talk about, but it's definitely real.
Look at the times right now.
I know, right? A lot of people taking advantage. It's a weird time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. So once you sign these papers and you get into boot camp, right? So after you're done, like with the paperwork, hand it in. What's next?
Well, for 3 days, they're still trying to sort you out, and you get your gear issued, like your camis, your boots, stuff like that. And then they assign you to your platoon, to your company, and you get your own drill instructor. Usually, there's 3 or 4 per platoon, and then you go from there. And then for the remaining 12 or 13 weeks, whatever the amount of time left already, those are going to be your drill instructors.
Have you kept in touch with them?
Yeah, they're cool. My drill instructor is actually on Family Feud.
Really?
Yeah, senior drill instructor. I think he's a gunnery sergeant now. Back then, he was a staff sergeant. Staff Sergeant Hall. He's a great guy. He was I think he was communications. His MOS. MOS is a military occupational specialty, pretty much like the job.
Got it.
He was a badass, and I feel like that's the thing that people don't talk about in the Marines, that your morale and your attributes, they start off in boot camp. Like your drill instructors, they're the ones who instill all that discipline and all that mentality into you. They're the founding fathers of the freaking Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So
there's a responsibility they have.
Absolutely, dude. Those
they're
people
just as much involved as you are.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. They have the toughest. I feel like one of the toughest jobs in the Marines. They scream the entire time. They look at you individually. They help you be a Marine. They build you into a Marine. So
got you.
They have a difficult task, and I feel like my drill instructors were just the best. They were literally the best. They were always on top of it. And one of my drill instructors, his name is he's a staff sergeant right now as well. Back then he was Sergeant Dunphy. He was Motor T.
You guys have a lot of nicknames in there?
For drill instructors or for
each other, or maybe
well, the drill instructors call his names, like funny names.
Okay,
they used to call me Little Russia because back then they called me Russia because in my battalion I was called Little Russia because we already had somebody Russian from Uzbekistan.
Got it.
But explain Uzbekistan to them. But I'm half Russian and I speak Russian. I don't speak Uzbek, so there goes the Russian part because I speak Russian Yeah, he always told me, when we would go on the runs, on the hikes, the pupil sticks, the when we did doing the boxing stuff, all the sessions, he would always be like, never look broken. Even if you're broken, if you're tired physically, it's the perception that counts. When people look at you and you see you're a Marine, well, back then you're a recruit, but you look broken and you don't have it in you. You're tired, you're giving up.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Put your fucking head up, put your chin up.
Yeah.
Stop looking broken. Stop complaining. And I took that with me in my. Not that I don't complain. Everybody complains.
Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of people don't see it. People don't see it. Don't let people see your weaknesses because they'll just take advantage of that. And especially when they know you're a Marine, like you're supposed to represent something. There's certain expectations that are supposed to be met.
I feel like in our society right now, it's all about like accepting and like showing people your weaknesses and helping out. I see there's definitely values to that, right? Because you don't want to be like this guy who's always like macho all the time. If you have problems, you gotta
absolutely address those issues.
Exactly. But at the same time, I feel like we also live in a society where it's like all we want to do
is talk about our
weaknesses,
feelings,
exactly.
And I say virtue signaling.
A lot of times,
plenty of that. Most of these
I feel very patronized when people virtue signal. Not even to me, but when I see it happening, I'm like, this is disgusting. Because like, are you showing us your character, like, or the side you want us to see, or is this like a show?
It's a show. It's definitely a show. It's
a lot of times it is
cloud chasers.
Yeah, some people just trying to get like the empathy, and I feel like we yes, feelings are important. You have to talk about emotions, and it's like an area that's gray. You
don't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about your feelings with everyone.
Yeah, there's a time and a place, like, and it doesn't have to come up in every situation.
Absolutely,
because a lot of people like using it as an excuse for a lot of things. Like if they can't get something done,
dude,
they're gonna blame their emotions.
It's my is this, is that, dude.
It's a go-to.
I'll say this about my life. 99.9% of problems that I have in my life are because of me.
Yeah.
Are because of me.
And who's gonna solve them?
Me.
Exactly.
They're not because of my parents. They're not because of the United States. They're not because of the politicians. They're not because of anything but yourself.
I really like that.
People have to take that whatever problems you have in your life, now just think in your head.
It's caused by me. Whether it's lack of planning, right? Lack of preparation,
whatever it is.
Caring.
Or just being young and immature and learning on your mistakes and learning from that.
Yeah.
Just taking something and going forward. But a lot of people just keep making the same fucking mistakes.
Hoorah, right?